Hello, everybody. We are getting the Buccaneers season 2, and finally, we have some pretty good development for the characters that I cared the most, specifically Lizzy. But first, let's talk about what happened in previous episodes. So, we are going to be talking about the white and black or black and white ball, whatever just happened. Something like Nan appeared in red dress. Despite this is black and white ball, she turned all the heads at that ball. She appeared in newspaper, and of course this newspaper got into Guy's hands. He found out that she is doing great without him, and he's doing great without her, basically. They kind of make, him being that, like, good character unconditionally, whether he is with a Nan or a part of her, and I like it pretty much. His character himself is like, the character that you will be sympathizing no matter what. Like, in being with Nan or not, it's like only, extra, like, for his storyline, but it's not necessarily should be like this for me to, sympathize with his character, because I think he has more future even with Ginny, Nan's sister, because now they are so close. And since he was trying to reach Nan, he was sending a lot of letters, but Lizzy, she was kind of, hiding those from Nan because she wasn't really like, ready to spoil anything for Nan, because she was thinking that Nan is happy with Theo, so there is no way she could have just, given those to Nan and make her, waiver the marriage she has right now. And another storyline that is still developing and has some moments, Cora and her teachers, now they are officially running some kind of business, which is, teaching younger ladies to find lords or like husbands, like high ranked husbands in England. And Cora and her mother, they paid substantial sums to Conchita and her husband to find a husband for Cora. And Cora, she is not that simple to teach, actually, and we will find out why. So Nan still like mesmerizing about her and Guy together, and her basically time with Theo is not that good. She's crying too much privately, in secret, and she's getting this moment with Lizzy when they have some moment to discuss everything that is going on with her and Theo, but she didn't really tell anything that's like related to her feelings towards Guy. She only like, kind of tried to seem normal and happy, but Lizzy just sensed that this is not true, basically. So her marriage, Lizzy and Hector Robinson, her marriage is coming, and he is going to propose to her. We already know that. And Lord Sidon is still lingering around with his dirty, dark thoughts about coming to wherever Ginny is and to get her back to England and to get his heir, his son, back to England. You know, from his point of view, this is something everybody in England at that point probably would do, because there is no way you can just let go your legitimate heir like this, you know. But the way he does all the things is just creepy, of course. This is why, like, he's a villain of this series. And he's kind of making agreement with Hector Robinson that he will support Hector Robinson's petition or something, because Hector Robinson is basically gathering signatures and to make some bills pass the parliament or something like this. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but Hector Robinson is kind of trying to help working man class, and he's trying to like do something for women as well. And in this matter, he needs all the signatures of lords and of, like, you know, influence people in England. And this is why his agreement with Lord Seaton is only about business, not something personal, because he said that he doesn't like him as well. But none feels like your mission with Hector Robinson can be easily done if they work together. But she, of course, worried Hector Robinson that deal with Lord Seaton is not a good thing. And Ginny with Guy currently hiding in Italy, they together just hiding, but they have some kind of strange energy between. Like, they all, like, all the way in Italy, they seem like, you know, kind of, I don't know, comfortable together or something. So we, like, feel that something could potentially happen with them, but nothing happened yet. They just, you know, hiding, and Ginny met some random woman in Italy, and they were like discussing some topics regarding her and her baby, and she found out that she was basically hiding in Italy. So, like, and Ginny, like, introduced Guy as her husband. She didn't really introduce him, like, properly, and that woman basically thought that this is her husband and that they hiding together. But, like, she didn't have a moment to explain exactly who Guy is. So they got a lot of information that, like, Ginny is, you know, considered as, like, stealing that baby from Lord Seaton, and now currently she is like a bad person in England due to all the newspapers and gossip. And Guy, of course, he's just Guy. Nobody really looking for him a part of Nan, because I don't like know what Guy's father doing, like why he's not looking for him, or why he's not, like, you know, trying to solve the problems with Theo and Lord Seaton. Like, Guy's father seems to be way powerful lord or whoever he is, but he's not participating in season 2, and this is so unfortunate, because Guy now seems to be like sidekick character who was in season 1 more of a, like, main cast. Now he becomes kind of supportive character who is just, you know, sitting in Italy and babysitting Ginny's baby. And that was never that something I expected from, like his character actually. And this makes me like feel that the focus just, you know, shifted towards something like different and kind of not a problem for me, but still guy character, I mean, like he was way more main character in season 1 than season 2. And Honoria moving in with Mabel in Mabel's place, and this is due to financial problems of Honoria's family, and specifically her father died. And this way, like, they got all the houses they had, like, not secured, and they lost probably houses, all of them or something like this. From what I've heard, they didn't manage to create like safe, like, you know, they didn't manage to save their assets after the Honoria's dad died. They lost like substantial amount of assets, money probably, and this way they need to move in with Mabel's mother, or like just, you know, put efforts together. But this is something, of course, Mabel and Honoria like didn't expect, because living together in the same room for them seems to be a good opportunity to be together finally, and still hiding, but be that close, you know. This is like the best probably surprise for two characters who were hiding from the very beginning. And Lizzy and Theo, they got the moment that nobody actually expected from this TV show, because in novel we never got any like explicit like relationship like that would be like, you know, claiming that they have some, you know, sympathy and that they have some future. They only were like friends or something. In novel, I found out that there wasn't any connection like this in TV show. And basically, Theo, he found out that Nan is not happy at all. She's crying secretly. And he told Lizzy that his wife basically has a broken heart, basically. And he already knew that his wife and Guy, they were so close, basically. At the same time, Cora is still like learning all the things about the being lady stuff, all that, like to find a husband. But for her, it's not that simple, because the personality of Chorus seems to be so stubborn, and she doesn't like the idea of courtesing and like talking only about certain subjects with lords, and like being like not herself in their presence, being like someone else to find a husband. It's not something she likes. She's completely opposite of it. And basically, Dick's mother said that her purpose is, in this marriage, her purpose is just to make bills paid, basically. There is no love, there is no actual, like, you know, there is no feelings behind that, but only financial part of this marriage is what matters. And this transatlantic union's supposed to be for paying those bills. No love, no sincerity or something like this. And this is, of course, something that pisses her off because she doesn't need that marriage of convenience, or that marriage just to be with an English, with Duke, or with Lord, with anybody. And her father is way too rich to, for her to marry someone who is not aware of her father's business and something like this. So she feels like that father's business thing is like always popping out behind her back, and that background is kind of, influencing more than her personality, but she needs to be herself to find someone. And I think she will be finding someone at the time, like we ending this season, she will find someone probably. And Lizzy is finally going to give those letters to Nan because she's worrying about Nan's, emotional, well-being. And she's talking about, she's trying to find out, if Nan is happy or not, if she's, trying to hide something, and if something happened that nobody knows about her marriage with Theo. And this moment specifically contributed to what happened next, because Nan herself single-handedly created this drama, and there is nobody else to blame but Nan for this situation with Theo and Lizzy. And Nan is not aware yet of Lizzy being with Theo, but she pushed back Lizzy every moment Lizzy was trying to help or trying to find out something about their marriage. And she created this situation, and she conceived something in Lizzy's mind about Lizzy is not capable of being at that level of marriage, or understanding that level of marriage with a duke. And this way she put those thoughts in Lizzy's head. She created that situation basically from this moment, and probably from even season 1. So this is why now Lizzy wavering her marriage with Hector Robinson, because Hector Robinson, he's basically just a member of parliament, and we know that Duke is way more powerful title in England. So she's of course thinks that she deserves better, and this is okay because she doesn't do that to hurt Nan. She doesn't do that to make jealous anybody. She just feeling that this is something she wanted from the start. And once she put her foot in England, she probably could have done something differently to get what Nan got, because Nan got everything in the best marriage that's imaginable, with a duke. But Lizzy deserved something after we found out that her personality is genuine, and her trouble with Lord Seaton just shown how like traumatized her like personality, how she suffered enough. And in season 2 finally we got some development to see if she's gonna be like better central character than Nan is now, because now like central character is not Nan. It feels more like now it's Lizzy, central character of season 2 of the Buccaneers. And Honoria and Mabel, they're just spending some, time they got by accident, because they never thought that they would end up together living in the same room. And Conchita and her husband still trying to make Cora find someone, but her personality actually that I like so much, her straightforward and brave character is just, it's a good like character, supportive character. She's doing all her parts to create this extra storyline. And this storyline is not only about Cora, it's somehow the only storyline that Conchita and her husband have now, because they do not have any other like storyline that would cross ways with another characters. But with Cora, the only story they have is teaching Cora all the manners and to find a husband for Cora, and building their own business about make young women find their husbands or something like this. Kind of, it's kind of dating application which never existed in Gilded Age. But let's imagine that they created some type of analogy of dating app, and this seems kind of strange and weird, but they do that because I think that they do not have anything for their characters, probably even in a novel. They just seem to be specifically for that purpose, just teaching others, and that's all. But they were creating they were putting the start, specifically Conchita, she put the start of the story by marrying her husband. And now after Theo found out that Nan wasn't really clear about what happened with Guy, he found out that she was basically sleeping the night before marriage or something like this. The night before her and Guy and Theo's wedding, Guy was in his castle and he stayed whole night with Nan. So of course Theo just pissed off because there is no way he could have, forgiving Nan for this. And I understand the feelings that Theo got once he found out that situation. And I don't really understand his mother and her ambitions about the heir and making Nan produce heir for Tintagel. It's like so arrogant being that way because she thinks that her son is not capable of fighting anybody else. But he is a duke. He can easily just find another wife and produce that heir. But she's acting like this is the only opportunity and the only like way to produce that heir. So once we found out that Nan and Theo, they are gonna be splitting because there is no way Nan is gonna be producing any heir for nobody because she never agreed to this, but somehow it was obvious that at some point she will need to produce that heir because this is like the main rule of being with a king or a duke. And at Lizzy's birthday, Hector Robinson proposed to Lizzy and she agreed, of course. But she wasn't wavering her feelings for Hector Robinson at that point because Theo didn't come up to Lizzy yet. He didn't make her waver those feelings yet. And she is kind of in love with Hector Robinson, but we got another extra one character, Hector Robinson's father, who is basically similar, like he looks so alike with Lord Seaton. It is like so strange to see how similar they look. I mean, like Lord Seaton looks so alike with this Hector Robinson's father, but it's only coincidence, of course. And Lizzy's mother arrived to this wedding. Of course, she is clumsy, as they said, that she is like with good intentions for her daughters, but the way she expresses her thoughts is just the clumsy one. And she basically spoiled that moment, and she basically revealed that Hector Robinson is going to propose to Lizzy, but he wanted that be a secret, like, and make kind of surprise. But now, like, you know, it's somehow telling a lot about Hector Robinson's personality in general. Probably he is not completely sure if she's gonna accept that proposal or not. This is why he is making that like way, like being a secret, and to come up with this proposal at her birthday, because probably she will be more, you know, ready at your birthday, because at your birthday you want the most like surprising gift possible, and this gift for Lizzy seems to be like the best possible gift, a proposal from like a member of parliament or something. Even though this is not a duke, it's still someone like close to, you know, duke. And of course, she accepted that proposal the second she asks her. And she basically already like felt something for Theo, because before that proposal they got one moment or something, like a couple of conversations when they were pretty genuine about like everything. And she only accepted that proposal because if she rejected, she like would end up like alone and not being able to, like recognize that Theo is plotting something for her as well, because she would have been devastated by this like rejection. And if she rejected this proposal from Hector Robinson, I mean, like, she would have been so like closed in terms of her readiness for another husband, to find another husband. And maybe she didn't feel exactly like this is someone she's gonna be spending her whole life with. She wasn't really like, ready, but she accepted because there is no way like she could have found someone that, fast. And he is of course a good person, and this is something contributed a lot to her choice. And while Guy and Ginny they were spending time with this new acquaintance in Italy, Theo tried to put that ear in Nan, and he was trying basically to, like use this last moment they have probably to produce next heir, to produce a child for Tintagel. But he couldn't really like look at her or even think about like her being with Guy and hiding that whole time. And he made an ultimatum to Nan that to leave the castle she needs to produce an heir, and this way she can leave forever this place. And once she produced heir, she is free. And this sounds pretty much like Lord Siddon's style, like Lord Siddon's approach to things, like to create a situation when another person has no chance, no choice but to obey, And of course, Nan is so like scared right now because there is no way she is ready to produce any heir, and she told that this is gonna be stop to institution. And she told Theo's mother that she's gonna be the last duchess and he's gonna be the last duke of Tintagel. And Theo already plotting this, like, he's plotting some kind of situation when Lizzy is gonna be wavering her feelings for Hector Robinson, and he did it for specific purpose. He did it to like first of all, to feed his own ego, because he just, found out that his wife basically cheated on him. And to create this situation for Nan, pretty bad situation with Nan's best friend, Lizzy, he came up with this, suggestion that Hector Robinson is not somebody Lizzy, deserves. She deserves way better husband than Hector Robinson. And he told Lizzy that Hector Robinson is gonna accept whatever, you offers, whatever your offers. Hector Robinson is just not that powerful person, and he's gonna be willing to accept anything. But Duke, of course, is someone you're gonna be, way more independent with, and you will be feeling that power being with Duke rather than with a member of parliament. So pretty too much for just Lizzy to digest. And of course, everything he said created that huge dilemma for Lizzy. She is now not completely sure if she's gonna be marrying Hector Robinson or if she has something for Theo. And once Nan is ready to leave this castle and go running, she will tell Lizzy that the only person she always has feelings for was basically Guy, not Theo. So this is another moment when she created this situation for Lizzy by telling that this whole time it's been Guy, not Theo, and they are done with Theo. So this is the free pass for Lizzy to pursue Duke right now. She feels like there is no betrayal in this situation, because if Nan wasn't that sure about Theo, I mean, Lizzy, she would not do anything. She would just, pursue her marriage with Hector Robinson. But now she is ready to find out something about this possibility. She's ready to actually take wherever Theo offers, and she asks him what he wants. He basically seems so into this situation, and he's attending this auction, the auction when Hector Robinson was the main figure. But once Theo appeared there, he dragged all the attention to himself, and every moment he appears becoming about him. And this is something probably Lizzy realized about Duke and the title in general, how influenced this is. But it's not only about her pursuing the highest possible rank. She is not like going after any titles. I don't think that she has that, arrogant personality. She is just trying to try something that she was deprived from the very beginning, because she arrived in England with probably expectations like she's of course beautiful woman, and a lot of probably man is going to be like hitting on her, but it turned out that all those English lures, they were just about the same thing, like money and marriage of convenience or something like this. And if it was someone genuine, Theo, of course, he is that person, because no matter what Theo told Nan, he is genuine person. Theo seems to be actually a good match for Lizzy, and I know that a lot of you guys don't like this idea, like Lizzy with Theo together, and it wasn't in a novel. In novel, never like explicit scenes were mentioned about Lizzy and Theo, and I'm actually so okay with this situation, because now we see the development of Lizzy's character, and the only way they could have come up with this idea of putting them together in season 2 is because they see how much Lizzy's character reciprocating with audience. They see how much she is like value. She has so much value to audience, basically, to people that is personally, rooting for Lizzy. And I'm one of those persons. I'm one of those like people who want to see some good future for Lizzy in this TV show. And I'm even okay if it never happened in novel. I'm just personally, I don't care about the novel. I never read it. I'm never gonna be reading it. But if it's gonna be a good match for Lizzy in terms of the emotional and her financial situation, because we know that it's not about money, it's not about title, but she needs to feel that she is important. That feeling of being important is way more like real when you are with someone like Theo, a duke. And the feeling of being important, wanted, and heard, because Theo, he is so like chill person, and he was like opposite of any woman who is going after his title. So he feels like Lizzy is that person who never cared about the title, but finding someone like who would appreciate her beauty and her genuine personality. So this is why I pretty much support this situation, even though it's not something like accurate to book, to original source. It's still a good twist. It's a good development for character, and it's finally something that make me feel like this TV show is more brave than just, copying novel, like in every way that novel was. But this is like the good change, and I'm looking forward to next episodes to see if it's gonna be really like a game changer for Nan right now, because she's coming back to England apparently, and she's going to find out that Lizzy is now hooking up with Theo. So this is of course gonna be a huge stop right there, because she will end up basically alone, because Nan basically lost Guy in his trust, because she arrived in Italy, she hooked up with Guy again, and she left him after like a couple of nights or something like this. Or basically she just, she is not really understanding the situation like she is. And she is in that situation when you need to make a choice finally who you are gonna be with. And she seems so like not sure about who she wants to be with. And this way, like this just character in general is not going to be like, sympathized by a lot of people, because she seems to be a reason for many troubles in this TV show. She seems to be too much thinking about like her own struggles, and this way she's just, dragging everyone with her own drama and putting almost every friend, everybody into this situation she created basically. So I'm not sure if she's gonna be a central character anymore, since we got this huge development of Lizzy's character. So this is my thoughts on what happened in previous episodes, and thank you for watching. And next time we will be talking about Black Dagger Brotherhood, new episodes, and the final probably. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.